Girls who have guy besties totally get it. Compared to their significant others, those guy best friends are the ones they really open up to later on. I got a text from her guy best friend to her. It said, "This poor dude, just have fun with him, don't take it seriously," when I eventually called it quits and walked out. She bawled her eyes out, questioning why I betrayed our love, and I just laughed, saying, "I was just having fun with you. Don't get all serious about it on Jamie's birthday." She rocked a sexy outfit but wouldn't let me take her to the bar. I caught a glimpse of her bare back and gently asked, "Is Ryan going to be there again?" Jamie paused her lipstick application, sounding kind of fed up. "Can you stop fixating on Ryan? I told you, we're just regular friends." See? She knows I'm not a fan of Ryan, but never thinks about her own moves, always acting like I'm overreacting. I stayed silent. Then Jamie seemed to get that her attitude was off, so she mellowed her voice. "Stop overthinking. I'm not ditching you because of the friend circle. Didn't you say you're not into my friends? I'll be back before midnight. Then we can celebrate just us. Babe, wait for me at home." She leaned in to kiss my ear, and then bounced with her bag. Her super thin dress showed too much when she bent over. I've brought this up loads, but it always ends in a fight. Jamie always claims that only clueless guys care about what a girl wears, while real ones focus on protecting their girl. But how am I supposed to protect her when she's always out with her sketchy friends, saying it's a hassle to bring me along because they don't know me well? This time, I kept quiet. When Jamie hesitated at the door and looked back at me, "Honey, why don't you care about me anymore?" "Oh, it's my birthday today. It'd be rude not to invite them. I promise I'll chill with them more later." I didn't respond, just smiled. She didn't know. Not only would I not care this time, but in the future, I wasn't going to care about her anymore. Jamie and I had some awesome memories together. During my internship, I'd often skip meals because I was swamped with the work. She'd always bring me a lunchbox, saying she made it herself. Then she'd grin and watch me eat before insisting we go grab her fave ice cream. On those scorching summer nights, she'd whine about being tired after a few steps, asking me to carry her. Jamie smelled great and was light. We'd stroll down the street to buy her favorite Haagen-Dazs, then head back to the office and drive off. I loved that simple happiness, but Jamie kept complaining I wasn't romantic and didn't know how to make a girl happy. To make her happy, I'd often scour the web for date ideas, trying hard to bring a smile to her face. Now that I think about it, the whole internet's teaching dudes how to care for their girlfriends, but why ain't it teaching girls how to love their dudes? Later, I found out she was too tight with her childhood buddy Ryan and brought it up a few times. At first, she calmly explained, but eventually she got more annoyed, saying it's normal for friends of the opposite sex to be close, and Ryan was her guy best friend. Their friendship was just platonic. After many fights, I opted for a peaceful breakup. Not only had she helped me hit many business goals, but she also kept bringing up old times, bringing lunchboxes to make sure I ate in front of everyone at work. She passionately confessed her love for me, saying she regretted losing me and had been single, waiting for me all these years. Her words were so heartfelt that amidst my coworkers' cheers, I drank too much and got back with her. Everyone said Jamie loved me deeply, and girls like her were rare, so I should cherish her. But if she truly loved me, how could she be so shady with another dude? That night, I must have been wasted to believe people can change. I lit a cigarette, switched outfits, and went out. Around 7 or 8 p.m., S-City was lit with lights and crowds. I grabbed some beer and barbecue, sat by the roadside and watched silently, then bought a ticket for a movie I'd always wanted to see. We had planned to watch this movie together before it dropped, but now it was almost out of theaters, and we still hadn't seen it. She had too many friends in her circle. Whenever I asked if we could set a date to see it, she'd flutter those innocent eyes and coyly say, "Sorry, I've already made plans with friends." Maybe she thought it was cute, but after so many times, all I could do was smile bitterly. Thankfully, now I'd come to terms with it. Without Jamie at the movie and without her constant chatter in my ear, I could fully focus on the film. After the movie ended, I turned and saw two people passionately kissing on the platform in the central square. The crowd was cheering, urging them to stay together. After a long kiss, The guy turned around, wiped his lips, and smirked. Who said I couldn't handle it? We've kissed. Now let's head back and keep the fun going. It was Ryan. I froze and saw the girl in his arms. Her face turned red. As expected, it was Jamie. Through the crowd, Jamie saw me and broke free from Ryan, sprinting towards me. Sadly, I didn't wait for her. When Jamie rushed back home, I had already packed most of my stuff. The idea of breaking up with her wasn't new. I was just waiting for the right moment. A moment to be fully heartbroken. Now that moment was here. She panicked, rushing to hug me. Ethan, what are you doing? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I just drank too much today, and it was just a panic rushing to hug me. Ethan, what are you doing? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I just drank too much today, and it was just a dare. They told me to kiss Ryan outside. I thought this might be the last time I'd see him, so I didn't refuse. I won't do it again. She reached to take the suitcase from my hand, but I gently pushed her away. All her explanations were pointless. If there was nothing between them, why would their friends dare them to kiss? The Lin family and the Yi family were the top dogs in their circle. If there were no signs, how could they dare? I intended to break up peacefully, but hearing her words, I couldn't help but laugh coldly. See, she knew why I wanted out. She knew where she messed up. But why did she make excuses so confidently before? Are you apologizing for betraying my trust, or because you got caught? Jamie's face stiffened, looking hurt by my words, her long lashes fluttering, and tears quickly followed. Seeing I wasn't comforting her like before, she paused and softly apologized, saying it was just an accident. She didn't expect Ryan to suddenly kiss her. I already didn't believe her, and even more so when I saw her phone lighting up on the table. I saw the messages at a glance. Ryan was still her top pinned contact, despite her saying she'd removed him. Clearly, another lie. The message read, "Was he really mad about just a dare kiss? Poor and petty. Why do you like someone like that? Just have fun. Don't take it seriously." Jamie saw it too. She awkwardly flipped her phone face down, then clung to me again, reaching out for a hug. She used to act flirty like this, but now as she got close, I smelled smoke mixed with her perfume. I didn't know if she was smoking behind my back or if it was Ryan's scent. Either way, it disgusted me, a woman who lied habitually. Seeing my cold stare, Jamie was stunned and nervously snuggled against me. "Babe, I'm a bit drunk today. Let's crash first and talk tomorrow." "All right, they say couples fight at the head of the bed and make up at the foot. Let's do as you say tonight." "All right." I started reflecting. Maybe in the past I was too accommodating, making her think everything could just blow over. But why should she think I'd always be there for her? So I smiled. "Do as I say." "Fine, then let's break up." Jamie didn't expect that answer. She was stunned, then got angry. She was always like this, no matter how big the mistake. If I didn't bring it up, she'd act innocent. If I did, she'd get defensive, making it seem my fault. She turned away, looking irritated. "Hey, Ethan, you're so annoying. I told you Ryan is just a friend. We've been friends since elementary school. Should I cut off all friendships just because I'm dating you?" Seeing my lack of reaction, she vented. "You really have no heart. Go ahead, leave and never come back and leave everything I bought you." Jamie came from a rich family and always hated my shabby clothes. She insisted I wear suits and expensive watches to match her taste. I was just an average office worker. These things were only useful when I was with her. So I had already left everything in the bedroom, taking nothing before leaving. Jamie's eyes were red, looking like I'd wronged her. "Ethan, I get you need to cool down, but I absolutely don't agree to break up." I ignored her, blocked her, and walked out. But Jamie didn't give up. She came to my office every day, being from a client company. My coworkers treated her with respect. Some even praised her in front of me, advising me not to take her for granted. Faced with such words, Jamie always seemed shy. No matter how much I warned her, she turned a deaf ear. After a few times, I stopped holding back and shot back directly. "Yeah, although I kissed another guy behind my boyfriend's back, I'm still a good girl, right, Jamie?" Jamie's face turned red with anger, and she threw a tantrum, cursing me. I just ignored her, and the next day I applied to have someone else handle her account. No matter how many messages she sent, I didn't reply. Until one day, Ryan came to see me personally. It's pretty funny. Ever since the breakup, Jamie had been posting ambiguous messages, sad music, and emo captions on her social media, fully playing the role of a heartbroken lover. This made Ryan feel sorry for her and come to accuse me, the so-called unforgivable jerk. As soon as I accepted his friend request, Ryan sent a long message filled with condescension. "Ethan, who do you think you are? A poor guy with an average background. If it weren't for Jamie liking you, we wouldn't even look at you. You and us are from two different worlds. You're just a social climber. Why do you have so many demands? Let me be real. We can't stand people like you. So yeah, we won't let you integrate into our circle. What? Did you think dating Jamie would help you climb the social ladder?" I didn't reply. Instead, I took a screenshot and sent it to Jamie with a note. "Control your dog." Jamie called me almost immediately. I didn't answer, so she kept calling. I started regretting not blocking her number when I blocked her on WeChat a few days ago. But Jamie was stubborn. After I blocked one number, she used another phone to call again. When I finally picked up, she started talking non-stop like a pea shooter. "Ethan, you finally agreed to talk to me. I've thought a lot these past few days. I really do love you. For you, I can step out of this circle. Can we get back together? You still have feelings for me, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't care about Ryan's provocation. Give me another chance." I took a deep breath, shocked by her overflowing confidence. After a long pause, I asked, "Do you have any thoughts about Ryan's words? He was just being a friend, not wanting to see me sad. I'll introduce you to him later to clear up the misunderstanding." I fell silent. I was deeply impressed by her reasoning. Why did she think I could clear up the misunderstanding with Ryan? In other words, if an introduction could solve the problem, why didn't she do it earlier? It was nothing but self-deception. I sneered and slowly spoke. "Jamie, have you ever thought about what our future would look like if we got married?" There was silence on the other end of the line. I didn't rush her, just waited quietly. She seemed to have never realized that what made me determined to leave was not only her closeness with Ryan, but also the most important factor, the incompatibility of our circles. We were fundamentally incompatible, and I was always looking for a serious relationship leading to marriage. Jamie seemed to make a great effort before sighing lightly. "Ethan, I really do love you and want to marry you, but you know my family would never agree." I nodded, speaking with sarcasm. "So you should realize that this is your problem, not mine. Don't call me again." After my final conversation with Jamie, I set my phone to whitelist only, blocking all unknown numbers. I didn't realize how far Ryan would go for Jamie until I got a termination notice from my company. He had used his family's influence to pressure the company into firing me. On my last day, my boss took me out for a drink. "Ethan, I really had high hopes for you. According to the plan, I was going to promote you next year. Didn't expect this to happen. You probably can't stay in S-City anymore. Since we're from the same hometown, I'll introduce you to someone there. Give it a shot." I'd had enough of the 996 work culture in the big city. And with a severance package of N+3, I tried to find some humor in the situation. Relieved that at least my hair was safe. I packed my stuff and bought a train ticket back to my hometown. Never expected Jamie to follow me to the train station. Just as I arrived at the station square, she stopped me, grabbing my sleeve with a desperate tone. "Ethan, I love you. Please don't go. Stay with me. I'm willing to give up everything for you. I brought my ID and household registration. We can get married today." She looked at me expectantly, trying to hold on to my arm, but I pried her fingers off one by one. I said, "Jamie, even if you want to marry me now, I don't want to marry you." I pushed her away and quickly walked off with my suitcase. She stood there, bewildered, as if she'd heard something unbelievable. It's laughable. She thought I'd always wait for her, no matter what. Luckily, the train station uses ID card entry, so I didn't have to deal with a ticket inspector, but I didn't expect someone to record a video of Jamie and me outside the train station. Her attractive looks and the image of a lovesick rich girl quickly made her an internet sensation. She used the situation to start an account, sharing stories about our past and gaining a large following. Meanwhile, I was portrayed as the heartless jerk. Although Jamie tried to clarify, she always did so ambiguously, saying it was all her fault but never specifying why. In the end, netizens thought she was just being a lovesick fool, still defending the jerk who hurt her. As the video spread, my life back home got tougher. Strangers would often approach me, asking if I was the infamous jerk ex-boyfriend everyone was talking about. I had to perform a live meltdown for them. Yeah, it's me. She approached me because her guy best friend was terminally ill and needed a liver transplant. She wanted me to donate my liver to her childhood friend. When I refused, I fled back to S City. Take my advice. Stay away from anyone with the last name Lin or E, or you'll end up miserable. Beware, you might be next. What if she decides you're a match and wants your liver? I fought rumors with rumors. Later, Jamie's comment section got weirder, with supporters of both her and me splitting evenly. Gradually, she stopped updating her account and the video's popularity waned. Thanks to my former boss's recommendation, I connected with a local leader and found a well-paying job back home. At a class reunion, I even ran into my first love, originally. Most of my classmates had lost touch, but a childhood friend insisted on organizing a gathering when they heard I was back. They invited everyone they could reach, including Naomi. Naomi was sweet and cute, yet she carried a gentle and graceful vibe. Even in school uniforms, she always looked better than the others, her smile showing adorable dimples. She had a warm personality, too. Back then, I was mischievous and often teased her, making her glare at me angrily, warning that she wouldn't talk to me next time, but she always did. During high school, with its heavy workload, Naomi was the only person I saw as a beacon of hope. Just thinking of her made me feel like I could keep going. I had once hoped to attend the same university as Naomi. Unexpectedly, she changed her plans and stayed local, and we gradually lost contact. My high school crush was pure and beautiful. Back then, I didn't even think about being the only one with Naomi. After all, she was the school's goddess, the unreachable moon admired by many. For us, she was the bright moon, out of reach but still a joy to behold. But now, at the dinner table, Naomi's eyes reddened amidst everyone's teasing. "Naomi, we couldn't get you to come out before, but you came when Ethan returned. Is our school belle a teacher now? Still the goddess? Huh, wonder which guy's lucky enough to marry her." Naomi used to tutor Ethan, even though he had a girlfriend. Right. I shook my head and opened a bottle of beer for him. "Stop talking nonsense. We broke up a while ago." Naomi's eyes lit up instantly. She hesitated, looking at me and then at the others. When I went to the restroom, she stopped me. "I'm single too, Ethan. They weren't wrong. I did like you in high school." I was stunned. I didn't know if it was because of her confession or her straightforwardness. Then I instinctively asked, "And now?" "Now I still do." Naomi looked up at me, her fair cheeks glowing under the hallway lights, her eyes gentle and moist. That day, amid our classmates' cheers, we got together. But I never expected Jamie to be so obsessed. Following me from S City, she came with our photos, claiming I'd moved on too quickly, accusing Naomi of being a homewrecker. She even said I was a gold digger who used Naomi as a sugar mama. Some of her crazy fans started attacking us, even sending letters to Naomi's school, demanding her dismissal for her supposed misconduct. Rumors and slander can be incredibly damaging, especially in professions that value reputation highly. This time, I couldn't take it anymore and decided to fight back. In response to the online rumors, I put together a complete PowerPoint presentation. If people wanted to gossip, I was going to give them everything, starting with her intimate behavior with Ryan during our relationship, to their public kiss during a dare, and then Ryan's provocation and pressure on my company to fire me. As for Jamie's claim that I used her money to support another woman, I provided detailed transaction records one by one. Those months and years of me scrimping and saving just to not owe her, just to feel worthy of standing by her side, were laid bare. All the money I had saved was spent on her. She thought she was buying things for me, but in reality, I couldn't refuse her so-called generosity. Since she first gave me expensive gifts, I developed a habit of keeping track. I would research the prices of those luxury items, and those numbers weighed heavily on my mind. To repay this burden, I pushed myself to buy equivalent gifts for her. Although to her those gifts were insignificant, she even complained to Ryan that my gifts were old-fashioned and not to her liking. Meanwhile, Ryan, under the guise of a best friend, was undermining me while giving Jamie even more expensive gifts, claiming that friends are the ones who truly love her. Jamie was brainwashed by him, constantly feeling that I wasn't good enough. During our relationship, I spent most of my money on her, living frugally myself, but she felt it was only right. Now, after the breakup, realizing my worth, she wanted to use public opinion to force me back. I don't know who gave her the bad idea, but I definitely wasn't going back. Public opinion online flipped in an instant. Jamie and Ryan's identities were exposed, causing a drop in their family stock values. Jamie had no choice but to post a tearful apology video. She repeatedly said she was sorry, claiming she didn't know she had caused me so much trouble and was unaware of Ryan's insults. She said she was just too in love with me to accept losing me, but netizens weren't fooled. Under her new apology video, they tagged Ryan in every comment. Yeah, sure, such deep love that you kissed the Yi family's eldest behind his back. Poor guys have no right to love, huh? While stringing him along, you played dares with Yi family's eldest. No complaints. Right, just a fling. Ah, why chase after him so relentlessly? Can't handle the game. Such comments became more frequent, forcing Ryan to also release an apology video. His face was bruised, seemingly having been reprimanded by his family. Ryan's biggest mistake was looking down on and mocking the grassroots, while benefiting from them. In the end, I gained a wave of followers on the platform due to the incident. Naomi, disheartened by her school's attitude over the rumors, quit her job and tried her hand at being a content creator from home. Unlike Jamie's constant sob stories, she simply recorded couple vlogs. Sometimes it was us holding hands at the supermarket, sometimes her cooking for me and making sure I ate. Her fresh and simple style surprisingly attracted a lot of fans. One day, cooking for me and making sure I ate. Her fresh and simple style surprisingly attracted a lot of fans. One day, Naomi and I recorded a quick Kwanda session. However, Jamie started leaving random comments. Naomi specifically highlighted her comment for everyone to see. It read, "I used to make you these lunchboxes every day, Ethan. Don't you remember? You're just repeating our past. Isn't that just missing me?" What bad luck. I hurried to clarify. That's not true. I've known for a long time that Jamie can't cook. She used to disguise takeout as homemade. Who uses plastic containers for homemade steamed eggs? I just pretended not to know during the relationship. Not to mention other things. I'm pretty boring myself. What some girls would call dull, unromantic. The dates I understood were just meals, movies, and shopping, making my mundane life better with you in it. But after the video was posted, Jamie didn't stop. She kept comparing herself to Naomi, from makeup to behavior, trying to prove that Naomi was just her replacement. So Naomi and I revisited old places, wore our school uniforms, and went to our high school. In the video, she sat on a desk, turning to look at me. I fell for you 3 times, once in high school, once now, and once in every future moment. Jamie finally deactivated her account and stopped commenting because netizens found out that Naomi had been single all these years. She was clean, beautiful, and completely different from Jamie. Also, at the end of the video, I pulled out a ring and knelt on one knee. "Miss Naomi, will you marry me? The diamond might not be big now, but I promise to give you all my love." The engagement preparations went smoothly. Our parents met and were very satisfied with each other. Naomi's parents were both teachers, strict but with good values. While my parents both had stable jobs, not wealthy, but never lacking. No one expected that such a dignified engagement party would be disrupted by several Bentleys. Ryan brought Jamie, barging directly into the hotel. He seemed used to being arrogant. When the hotel staff tried to stop him, He threw a stack of money at their faces. What rules? Just not enough money. Right. Is this enough? Get lost. Jamie ignored the commotion. Her eyes fixated on me as she walked closer. They seemed well prepared. She was even wearing a wedding dress, more luxurious than Naomi's gown. I couldn't help but laugh out of sheer anger, instinctively shielding Naomi behind me and coldly questioning them. This is my engagement party. If you've had enough fun, leave now. Jamie's tears immediately started falling, leaving 2 white streaks on her perfectly made-up face. She said, I know, Ethan. I'm here to win you back. I don't mind if you think of me as her substitute. I'm willing to do anything for you. Come with me. I really can't live without you. Ethan, I'm pregnant with your child. Everyone's expression changed upon hearing this. Even Ryan, who'd been messing with the staff, looked at her in surprise. No one expected her to play this trump card. I could feel Naomi stiffening behind me, gripping my hand tighter. I looked at Jamie and laughed coldly. Jamie, do you think I'm an idiot? I've wanted to break up with you for a long time. So it's been a while since we've been together. And if we count back, the timing doesn't add up. If you insist on this lie, I'll take you to the hospital right now, Miss Lynn. My heart belongs to my fiancé. Jamie's face turned pale. She looked like she might collapse, biting her lip until it bled. Even as she fell to the ground, she looked at me with resentment, asking, You say your heart belongs to her. What am I to you then? What about our beautiful memories together? I wrapped my arm around Naomi's waist, not sparing a glance at Jamie. Didn't the Yi family's eldest say it? Just a fling. Why are you taking it so seriously? If you insist on defining our relationship like Ryan, just a friend I can kiss. Jamie seemed unable to hear anything. She laughed and cried, desperately crawling towards me, her long dress tripping her, grabbing at my suit pants. Don't leave. Even as a friend, Ethan, don't leave. I turned to look at the furious Ryan, who glared at me with hatred. But I found it laughable. Why blame me instead of pulling away the crazed Jamie? A long time ago, they told me that if they truly wanted to be together, I wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have dragged on until now. Exactly. Now that I'm out of the picture, why aren't they together? I pulled my pants free and responded one last time. Jamie, I did like you, but that's in the past. That ended when she repeatedly went to bars and messed around with her shady friends. I held Naomi's hand and walked away without looking back. I completely ignored the chaos behind us. Later, I learned that on the day of the engagement party, Naomi had arranged for her cousin to film the event, planning to edit the footage and share it online to spread the joy with everyone. However, Jamie's dramatic antics enraged her cousin, who then uploaded the unedited version online, and it quickly went viral. The Lin and Yi families once again found themselves under public scrutiny due to their errors. To minimize the damage, the Yi family brought in an illegitimate child from outside and announced him as the new heir. The Lin family took a simpler approach. Since Jamie was pregnant, they forcibly married her to Ryan and launched a series of PR measures. Unfortunately, the public wasn't buying it. What started as a private matter turned into a public spectacle, with the Lin family's PR department's condescending attitude angering people further, leading to widespread boycotts. The next time I saw news about them was on a legal show. Ryan had beaten Jamie, leading to her death. Both grew up as the pride of their families, close, but with fiery tempers. Jamie was indeed pregnant, but the child wasn't mine. After our breakup, Jamie was in such pain that Ryan took her out drinking, leading to a one-night stand. Jamie believed the man that night was me, and Ryan, to save face, didn't correct her. When she crashed our engagement and revealed her pregnancy, Ryan couldn't hide the truth any longer. He had always thought that he and Jamie would marry eventually, allowing them to continue their separate lives while maintaining appearances. But Jamie truly fell in love with me, which irked Ryan. He badmouthed me to her and took advantage of her vulnerability. When Jamie found out the true paternity of the child, she broke down and threatened to sue Ryan. Her family, however, forced her to marry him. The Yi family couldn't let their bloodline be disgraced, so they quickly got them married. But Jamie blamed Ryan for ruining our relationship, and Ryan resented her lack of appreciation. Their marriage quickly deteriorated, with Ryan indulging in hedonism and eventually beating Jamie during a drunken argument, causing her to miscarry. By the time he sobered up and took her to the hospital, it was too late. The child was gone, and Jamie, from excessive blood loss, was too. Ryan went to prison, and when he was released, the Yee family had no place for him, reducing him to the commoner he despised. With this scandal, the Lin and Yee families were beyond saving. Their company's stock prices plummeted, but the Yee family's illegitimate child managed to turn things around, proactively seeking cooperation with us. He offered a very generous deal and even helped me climb the corporate ladder, securing 3 promotions. My salary tripled, and I opened a studio in my hometown. Naomi, the boss lady, spent most of her time at the studio recording videos while working. Years later, our business expanded, becoming a well-known local enterprise. As a couple, we became famous entrepreneurs. During a speech as outstanding alumni, Naomi leaned on my shoulder and whispered, "That year I stood under the cherry blossom tree, thinking if you turned around, I would confess my love, but fortunately, those in love don't miss each other. I have good news for you, Ethan. You're going to be a father." Spring was coming again, and our happiness continued. The first time I saw Ethan, I liked him. He had a quality not found in our social circle. Because of this, I fell for him, even trying to learn how to cook for him. Of course, I failed. So I usually had the housekeeper cook or ordered takeout, pretending it was my own work. Later, I learned that Ethan had known all along but never exposed me. Such a good Ethan, and I missed him. I gradually forgot why I liked him, focusing only on comparing him to my circle, thinking he wasn't as wealthy or interesting as my friends. When he decided to leave, I finally woke up. But it seemed too late. Ethan left resolutely, no matter how I begged him. He never looked back. I looked at my empty home, feeling a cold loneliness. Ryan kept messaging to comfort me, but I angrily told him to stop contacting me. He asked if I was willing to abandon years of friendship for a man. I hesitated and asked him for advice again. Ryan was somewhat of a player. I knew we would eventually marry, but I didn't like him. After all, having experienced Ethan's wholehearted love, who would choose to be just another option? But I also had to admit that I enjoyed being adored by 2 men. I tried many ways to win Ethan back. I was ready to give up everything and marry him. I started an account to document our love, even considered cutting ties with Ryan. The things I told Ethan were sincere. If he was willing to come back, I would leave this circle and never associate with Ryan and the others, focusing solely on him. I believed in Ethan's resilience. He could build a future for us. For that future, I was willing to lose my dignity, trying again and again to get close to him. Even crashing his wedding. That wedding dress I wore was chosen with all my hopes for marriage, only to be torn apart that day. The child in my belly was Ryan's. I hated him for betraying my trust, and hated myself even more for not listening to Ethan. When I found out I was pregnant, I was overjoyed, thinking it would bring us back together, only to realize it was a fruit of judgment. Even if unwillingly, the Lin family gave up on me. In our circle, all benefits come at a price, and we, the men and women, have to marry and provide the next bargaining chip. Now pregnant, I was no longer valuable. Ryan went out with other women. I didn't care, but I couldn't accept being confined to the Yee family, unable even to see Ethan from afar. I laughed and cried, unable to accept this life. Yelling at Ryan, "Who drank daily, if it weren't for you? If I had cut ties with you decisively, left this circle completely, Ethan would have married me. I would be the one standing beside him, looking so happy." Ryan seemed enraged by my words. Before losing consciousness, I saw on my phone their interview. Naomi nestled in his arms, glowing with happiness. Originally, this happiness could have been mine. It should have been me. I closed my eyes in resentment, hoping to meet him again in another life.